Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. We are easing into November with, I don't know, would you call them milder temperatures we're seeing today?
I don't know if I'd say mild. It's still unseasonably cool out there.
It is, okay.
But, you know,
milder than what we've had.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see some even more milder temperatures, though. I think over the next couple of days.
That is good
We're
news.
supposed to be in the low 50s.
Yes.
You know, and that's what we're starting here tomorrow, so that's good news.
Amazing.
I know, right? 50s sound great. But we are looking at a few passing clouds moving in across the area from the west this morning. Temperatures are in the 20s, so we're below freezing here again. We got 20 degrees in Eau Claire, 27 in La Crosse, and also to the west in Winona. Black River Falls, you're at 17. Sparta's at 20. Viroqua at 30 degrees. Good morning. So we are looking at mainly just a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day today. We're going to go from the 20s this morning to the 30s by 11. By the time we reach 1 o'clock, that's when I do think that we'll be into the low 40s and then the mid 40s by around 5 o'clock or so. Not as cold though today. Partly cloudy, and that will continue as we head into the afternoon, also into the early evening, and then turning mainly clear here later today. So I think dog walking is looking pretty good here for us to work with. But I'll have a check on that schoolcast and your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. Alexandra?
Derek, thank you. Let's get to our morning headlines now. For the first time in 3 weeks, foreign nationals who've been trapped in war-torn Gaza were able to escape. President Biden says his administration is working with foreign partners to get more Americans out and humanitarian aid in. This as fierce fighting continues with another Israeli strike on a refugee camp that it says was a key Hamas stronghold. CBS News correspondent Ian Lee has the latest for us from Tel Aviv.
Hundreds of foreign passport holders, including some Americans, began crossing into Egypt after the gates opened Wednesday.
Working nonstop to get Americans out of Gaza as soon and as safely as possible.
The U.S. State Department says it has been in contact with 400 Americans who want to leave Gaza. U.S. passport holder Fatih Abu al-Hassan said he became trapped there after visiting 3 months ago.
No water, no food, no shelter, nothing.
Dozens of injured Palestinian civilians were brought to Egyptian hospitals for treatment as the fighting intensifies on both sides. From this position, we can hear artillery, we can hear warplanes, and in the distance in Gaza, you can see smoke from airstrikes. Hamas says nearly 200 people are dead after another Israeli airstrike on the already hard-hit Jabalia refugee camp yesterday. Israel says the strikes there took out a Hamas command center and a leader believed to be behind the deadly October 7th raids. Israeli officials now estimate as many as 3,000 Hamas fighters may have invaded on that day.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is expected to travel to Israel and Jordan tomorrow. Meanwhile, the U.S. House of Representatives could take up its Israel security bill as soon as today. Parts of England and France are bracing for Storm Ciarán to batter the region with strong winds and rain. The UK's meteorological office has issued severe weather warnings, saying winds can be expected to reach 70 to 80 miles per hour or more in coastal areas. Cities across southern England and northern France started putting up flood defenses like sandbags and door barriers to prepare for that possible flooding. Officials expect the storm to bring unprecedented amounts of rain to the region.
We know this is going to bring us exceptional weather. We've already got 6 flood warnings out around Devon and Cornwall coast, and we know that we are looking at probably 2 weeks of rain in 24 hours.
According to France's National Weather Service, Météo France, parts of the Brittany and Normandy region are expecting winds as high as 90 miles per hour, and parts of the country's northwest regions can expect winds upwards of 105 miles an hour and waves hitting almost 33 feet high. Back in the United States, a House resolution to remove indicted New York Republican Congressman George Santos failed late last night. The resolution, brought by 5 freshman GOP representatives fell short of the 2/3 majority needed to expel a member of Congress. Santos is facing 23 separate charges, including wire fraud and identity theft. The New York congressman has pleaded not guilty and is refuting calls for him to resign. The House Ethics Committee investigation into Santos is expected to give an update on the investigation by November 7th. A new survey is reporting a lack of confidence and misinformation around vaccines is growing in the United States. That survey, published by the Annenberg Public Policy Center at the University of Pennsylvania, found that Americans did not consider it as safe to get vaccinated when compared to a similar survey from 2 years ago. The survey also found the percentage of Americans who believe that approved vaccines were safe dropped by 6%, and those who thought approved vaccines were not safe rose by 9%. The director of the study says the rhetoric surrounding COVID vaccines increased acceptance of misinformation while decreasing confidence in vaccines. The Food and Drug Administration may soon approve a new treatment for sickle cell disease. The new therapy uses a genetic modification process called CRISPR to fix the genetic problems in a patient's own stem cells and then gives those cells back to the patient in a one-time infusion. Currently, the only approved way to cure sickle cell disease is through a bone marrow or stem cell transplant. The FDA is expected to vote on whether or not to approve the new experimental therapy next month. It is the leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States, and now the American Cancer Society is releasing new guidelines for lung cancer screenings. The organization is now recommending nearly 5 million more adults who smoke or used to smoke be tested. Mandy Gaither takes a closer look at those details for us this morning.
It's a potentially deadly disease. Lung cancer kills more people in the U.S. than colon, breast, and prostate cancers combined. But early detection can save lives.
Only about 5% of those that are eligible for lung cancer screening actually are being screened.
Previously, the recommendation was for anyone between the ages of 50 to 80 with at least a 20-pack per year smoking history who currently smoke cigarettes or quit within the past 15 years to be screened annually for lung cancer. But the American Cancer Society is now advising doctors to remove that time since quit criteria.
What we found was that while there was initially sort of a decrease or leveling of a risk of lung cancer, as a patient ages, the risk of lung cancer increases significantly.
Dr. William Dayhut says this update will make it easier to know who should be screened for lung cancer.
People don't have to sort of calculate when someone quits smoking. And by changing our guidelines, we're actually going to increase the number of eligible patients by about 37%. And which means by about 5 million more Americans will now be eligible for lung cancer screening.
The screening is a quick low-dose CT scan of the chest, since coverage is largely driven by screening recommendations from the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, and that agency has not currently adopted this update. Insurance may or may not cover lung cancer screenings based on this updated ACS guideline, but Dayhut hopes that will change.
We're hopeful that once our guidelines are in place, people will look at the value of that.
The American Cancer Society says if lung cancer is found early, the chances of being treated are much higher, and there are new drugs and treatments that can also help improve the chances of survival. Still ahead on your morning news, the private sector added more than 100,000 jobs in October. We'll look at whether that met expert predictions and what it means for pay in just a few minutes. And a new consumer forecast has revealed what Thanksgiving items will be cheaper and which ones will cost you more this year. We'll break down what items you may not want to gobble up when you're doing your Thanksgiving dinner shopping. That and more coming up. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Have you ever wondered what your cat was thinking? Yes. If so, you're not alone. A recent study exploring how cats communicate with facial expressions, and as it turns out, cats have almost 300 distinct facial expressions. Using footage from a cat cafe, UCLA researchers noted 276 different expressions over the course of 3 hours. According to the study, 45% of the expressions were friendly and 37% were aggressive. Friendly expressions consist of ears and whiskers moving forward while their eyes close. Next, the researchers hope to figure out what these expressions mean. They plan on expanding the study to multi-cat homes and feral groups in the near future. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Oh, we're just looking at some passing clouds moving in across the area from the west of this morning, but it is very cold out there. That's one of the main weather stories to follow here is the temperatures below freezing yet again, 20 degrees now in Eau Claire. In La Crosse, you're currently sitting at 27, Black River Falls at 17, and Sparta currently at 20 degrees here. So make sure to bundle up here as you head out the door this morning. Your high temperatures this afternoon, not as cold and chilly as what we had yesterday, but still unseasonably cool as high temperatures will be into the mid-40s in La Crosse County. 48 today in New Albin, 49 in Lansing, 48 today in Soldiers Grove, but 44 in Viroqua. Highs around 45 in Blair and also into Black River Falls as well. Trempealeau, same for you. Melrose today, 46. Sparta at 46 as well. Arcadia at 45 today. And in the Chippewa Valley, Eau Claire, you're looking at highs around 41, 42 in Chippewa Falls, and 41 today in Altoona. Your bus stop forecast this morning calling for temperatures around 29 degrees, partly cloudy skies, so bring that jacket with you, and you'll need to keep it here as we head into the afternoon. 46 degrees under partly cloudy skies around dismissal time. So I'll have a check on your full weather forecast coming up again shortly, and we'll time out the temperatures and maybe some upcoming rain chances heading into next week.
Thank you, Derek. In your consumer news this morning, the private sector of the U.S. economy continues to add more jobs. According to payroll company ADP, there were 113,000 new private jobs added in the month of October. That's a sizable bump, but it's still less than the 150,000 jobs economists were expecting. Overall, annual pay is up 5.7% since October of last year. Economists expect relatively strong consumer spending to continue into the holiday season. Amid that job growth and other signs of a growing economy, the U.S. Federal Reserve chose not to raise interest rates. This is the second time in a row the Fed has decided to hold the rate steady. Previously, it hiked interest rates up in 11 consecutive sessions. The move comes as the Fed continues to track how inflation responds to previous interest rate hikes. Its goal is for inflation to drop to 2%, the widely accepted benchmark for sustainable inflation. The current rate of inflation is 3.7%. Toyota, meanwhile, issuing another recall this morning. You may remember a week ago, the company recalled more than 750,000 Highlander SUVs. Now it's recalling more than 2 million RAV4s. According to the automaker, the vehicles in question are models 2013 through 2018. The SUVs may carry batteries that are a fire risk. Toyota says it's working to remedy the situation without charging customers. It'll notify those affected by the recall next month. In the meantime, you can enter your vehicle information on Toyota's website to find out if your car is one of the affected ones. Now that Halloween is over, we can start preparing for the holiday in which you get to cheat on your diet. A new Consumer Outlook is revealing what Thanksgiving items will be cheaper and what items will cost you a little bit more this year. Cole Higgins breaks down the numbers and has a few ways you can save on your Thanksgiving meal prep.
This year's Thanksgiving dinner is serving up some dramatic shifts when it comes to cost. Wholesale prices for turkey fell 29% in October compared to a year ago. That's according to Wells Fargo's new Thanksgiving report. The forecast is welcome news for turkey farmers and marks a major shift from last year when a wave of avian flu took out birds, leaving some farms struggling to keep up with demand, which led to higher store prices. This 2023, the Wells Fargo Agri-Food Institute says farms added 2% to 3% additional birds, and that robust supply plus a drop in the cost of refrigerated trucks to move supply from farm to store are contributing to the price drop. But get ready for some sticker shock because the rest of the meal will cost you more.
Everything else around it, all those side dishes, choose to spend wisely and shop wisely where you can.
According to the Wells Fargo forecast, canned cranberries cost almost 60% more compared to the same time last year. So opt for fresh cranberries instead, which cost about 20% 5% less compared to last year. And right now, production costs for canned pumpkin are 30% higher this year from last year. Russet potato prices are at an all-time high, with prices up 14% from a year ago. So consider going for sweet potatoes instead. Store prices are only up about 4%. To trim costs, experts recommend scaling back.
Do you really need all that stuff? Who is actually eating this? Do we have a dish that maybe only gets 2 or 3 bites? Scrap it.
Good questions there. Experts also say you may want to wait before buying your Thanksgiving turkey. That's because some stores may lower their turkey prices 2 weeks before the big day. That does it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek for a look at today's forecast.
All right, thanks for that, Alexandra. We are starting off with clear skies this morning, but it is definitely on the cold side. 27 degrees now in La Crosse. South winds at around 7 miles an hour. In Eau Claire, you're even colder than that. You're currently sitting at 20 degrees, but at least our winds, though, are looking calm, so no need to worry about wind chill concerns there. Current temperatures below freezing everywhere this morning. We even got some locations like Black River Falls reporting the teens at 17 degrees right now. 30 in Viroqua, 29 in Prairie du Chien, 25 down in Bosque Belle. In Winona towards the west, you're currently at 27. So as we take a look now at your planner, in the next hour, temperatures partly or 29 degrees under partly cloudy skies, and then those partly cloudy conditions continue at around noon. 40 degrees with the temperature, turning mostly sunny, and 47 with the temperature by 4 o'clock. Mostly clear, temperatures falling to 38 degrees. And our forecast high numbers today, not as cold and chilly as what we had yesterday, but you can see a lot of us mainly into those low to mid 40s come this afternoon again. So as you can see, the clouds are increasing across the area from the west, and it looks like we'll see some decreasing clouds by the time we reach around 11 o'clock or so. So here's around 6 o'clock, and then we see just a few clouds, of the majority here off towards the east. We will be looking at increasing clouds, though, returning as we head into tonight, and the same here as we head into tomorrow morning. Just in time for that morning commute, so some of us could be looking at some showers here across portions of our northern communities, such as Eau Claire. You could run into some scattered showers before that clears out by 5 o'clock tomorrow, and then we're just left over with some partly cloudy skies before increasing clouds settle into the area again heading into early Saturday, and then decreasing in coverage, and then just a few leftover clouds here as we head into Saturday afternoon. And by that point as well, our temperatures are expected to rise here a little bit, going from the 40s today up to the 50s tomorrow and through the weekend as well. Could even see a slight chance of a couple of spotty showers this weekend, but I think for the most part just mixed clouds and sun there. I think we will see some better rain chances, though, as we head into early next week on Monday. And some of those rain chances could even linger into Tuesday of next week as well. Slimmer chances, though, for Wednesday and Thursday. And our high temperatures will drop from the 50s down to the 40s starting on Tuesday again and continuing through much of next week as well. Low temperatures mainly into the 30s. All right, stay tuned. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending you a break with a look at what happened on this day in history for November 2nd. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. The Hilltoppers' hopes of bringing a state title home to Onalaska are still very much alive, thanks in large part to the play of their quarterback. And yesterday, the senior getting recognized for it. Onalaska's Adam Skifton being named the MVC Offensive Player of the Year. What a year it's been. Skifton leading the Hilltoppers to a 6-3 regular season record. His play has only gotten better the first 2 weeks of the playoffs. Skifton throwing 4 touchdowns in level 1. He did it again in level 2 on the road against Medford. 4 TDs in that one as well. That's 34 total touchdowns so far. We'll see if the Hilltopper QB can keep his team's playoff hopes alive this Friday night as Onalaska heads to top-seeded Rice Lake for a big-time matchup in level 3. Bucks looking for their second straight win last night in Toronto. Not a good start, though. They trailed by 22 at the half. Dame Lillard gets this to fall. That cuts it back to 19. Then later in the third, Bucks still battling back. Giannis going up high and throwing it down. Milwaukee within 13, but the Raptors pulling away. Fourth quarter, Toronto goes back up 20. Pascal Siakam with the flush. And then a couple minutes later, it's Siakam showing off the range. He led all scorers with 26 on the night. Bucks get blown out 130-111. They fall to 2-2 on the year. They'll be back home Friday night to take on the Knicks. Timberwolves at home looking to take down the defending champs. Second quarter, T-Wolves rolling. Karl-Anthony Towns, top of the key, knocks down the three. Cat with 21 points in this one. Minnesota up 13. And how about Anthony Edwards throwing it down right before the half comes to an end? He led the T-Wolves with 24 on the night. Minnesota hands Denver its first loss of the season, 110-89. Last but not least, for the first time in franchise history, Texas is the last team standing. The Rangers wrapping up the World Series last night on the road in Arizona. Texas winning all 3 games at Chase Field. They get it done in 5 games, 5-0 the final, as the MLB season officially comes to an end. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
A former Toma teacher will spend 10 years behind bars for repeatedly forcing a 14-year-old student to engage in sexual acts. That sentencing was handed down last week after she was convicted of 25 counts of sexual assault back in July. Upon her release, Ann Nelson Koch will be supervised by the Department of Corrections for another 15 years. Monroe County officials are encouraging anyone else who may have been victimized by the former teacher to contact the Toma Police Department. The town of Campbell is suing manufacturers of the so-called forever chemicals known as PFAS. Online records show the town filed a civil suit in La Crosse County Court in October. More than a dozen companies are named as defendants, including 3M and DuPont. News 8 Now has reached out to the town's legal representation for a copy of the filed complaint. What we can tell at this point is the lawsuit will argue the PFAS contained in the residents' private wells have damaged those residents' property values. Town residents have been on bottled water for 2 years now after news of the widespread contamination. Chronic wasting disease, an infectious disease spread through saliva, has been detected in a deer in Trempealeau County. That's according to the DNR. It's fatal for deer, moose, and elk. The infected deer was harvested in the town of Hale. This detection is prompting renewed bans on baiting and feeding in Trempealeau and Jackson counties. Madison Democrats are introducing bills they say will remove barriers to abortion. The state's 1849 ban outlaws most abortions right now, but a Dane County judge could strike that down. The Democrats' bills would remove requirements for abortion providers to have hospital admitting privileges and perform physical exams on those seeking abortions. They would also require healthcare providers to give medically accurate information to patients and not provide misinformation.
We know that patients' rights, we want to center patient safety. And in order to do that, these 3 bills will help ensure not only patient safety, but patients' rights.
The bills would have to pass scrutiny in the Republican-controlled chambers. Wisconsin's Joint Finance Committee voted to adjust for inflation the tax credits for parents who send their kids to private school. But in the same meeting, they voted not to adjust for inflation tax credits for farmers. The committee first took up an amendment to Viroqua Representative Lauren Oldenburg's bill to preserve farmland. Oldenburg's third attempt at passing this bill reduces the length of the agreement between state and farmer from 15 years to 10 years. It also gives higher tax credits to farmers who follow soil and water conservation standards and requires that those tax credits are automatically indexed or adjusted for inflation. But the latest Assembly amendment would remove that index. Oldenburg tells News 8 Now his party's leadership requested that amendment. Stevens Point Senator Patrick Testin says Oldenburg's bill was good the first time, but the committee's co-chair says a tax credit adjustment shouldn't be automatic. It should be a decision each time through the legislature.
I think we're at a point now where with this amendment, we'll have the support that we need to pass in the Assembly.
It makes sense to say we create this and we should modify it up or down or whatever. It should be an action as opposed to just automatically happening.
But that mentality did not last long. The very next item was a Republican bill that would increase credits for parents who send their kids to private school. Those credits would be automatically adjusted for inflation. One Southeast Wisconsin Democrat asked why.
A few minutes ago, we declined to index the farmland preservation tax credit to inflation. But in Senate Substitute Amendment 1, we are choosing to index private school tuition deduction to inflation. So can someone explain to me why farmers don't deserve to have their tax credit indexed, but parents who choose to send their kids to private school do?
What followed was 35 seconds of silence. That bill later passed on party lines. Radon is a colorless, odorless, naturally occurring gas, and according to the La Crosse County Health Department, it's the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. In honor of Lung Cancer Awareness Month, the La Crosse County Health Department is offering free short-term radon test kits. Since radon is undetectable to humans, testing is the only way to determine if it's in your home. Radon can enter homes through cracks and gaps in the foundation, and elevated levels of radon are found in about 1 out of every 10 homes in Wisconsin. One member of the county health department says the department's goal is to make testing more accessible.
We just, again, really want people to know that they either do or don't have a radon problem right now, and if there's any way that they can fix that.
The department has 300 short-term radon tests to give out. They'll be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. You can pick them up at the Health and Human Services Building in La Crosse or any of the 5 county libraries. The county health department is also encouraging people to donate a non-perishable food item when they pick up their kit. Those donations will go to the Hunger Task Force. Logan Middle School 7th graders participated in the Urban Planning Curriculum presentation. The annual activity gives kids the chance to create new ideas for the city's redevelopment projects and focuses on the importance of team building. The city has hosted this event for the past 10 years, and it's a way to encourage kids to get involved in the planning of their community.
We, as planners, really want to encourage future generations of planners and encourage more diversity in the planning field.
This year's project planning was for the redevelopment of Train Building 17. 15 teams of young planners entered, and 4 were selected to have their ideas passed on to the developers of the project. The Family and Children Center hosted its biggest fundraising and awareness event of the year at the Weber Center for the Performing Arts. The free event was called Bridges to Better Tomorrows. It highlighted programs the FCC offers in 5 communities, including 25 prevention, intervention, and treatment programs. The night also featured testimonials and big opportunities to raise money for the nonprofit. Their child advocacy centers took a big hit after recent funding cuts by the federal government. Any money raised will go towards bridging that funding gap so the FCC can provide the resources so many families need.
We have services and programs for 5,500 people a year, children, families, adults, and these services are critical to help some of the toughest challenges that people face.
One of the biggest grants the FCC received was a challenge grant for $480,000. That was shared by 18 donors. A La Crosse food bank has kicked off its virtual food drive. The Hunger Task Force is holding its first virtual food drive. Interested donors can log on to the Hunger Task Force website and shop for items to purchase for the food bank. We have that link for you on our website. The drive runs through the end of the year, but donations made between now and November 28th will be matched up to $25,000 by another donor. Now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, Alexandra. We're talking about some cloudy skies moving in now across the Coley region from the west. And check out these temperatures here. You're going to need to bundle up, bring that winter jacket with you, as we're looking at temperature values into the 20s. So a lot of us below freezing. In fact, everybody really is below freezing, but you can see Black River Falls in the teens, reporting 17 right now. So your forecast today, 47, partly cloudy, but not as cold before it's all said and done today. Southwest winds are a little bit light at 5 to 10, making it not as chilly either. And the same for tonight, light wind speeds out of the south at 5 to 10, 34 being our low temperature, and not as cold here tonight either, or chilly. Let's stay tuned. I'll have a check on the forecast coming up in a few minutes, and I'll let you know here when this next warm up here will come, plus maybe even some rain chances as we head into next week.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
We'll start with Rick, who is turning 80 today. He loves painting and making art.
Happy birthday to him. And Mary Lou is also turning 80. She's always there for people and always has a smile on her face, as you can see.
Yeah, exactly. Nice picture there. Gary is also turning 80 today. Now, he loves his friends and family and playing golf.
Happy birthday to all of them turning 80.
Yeah.
And if you know someone special turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We'll have the president and head coach of the River City Youth Hockey Association in studio coming up next to talk about their upcoming Try Hockey for Free event.
Our skies are looking clear this morning, but it is just a downright cold here yet again. As you can see here in La Crosse, 27 degrees the temperature with clear skies, south winds at 7 miles an hour. If you're in Eau Claire, your temperature currently at 20 degrees with a few passing clouds. Wind speeds are looking calm here, so no wind chill values to worry about here this morning for you. Temperatures across the area into the teens and 20s. We're seeing the teens in Black River Falls now at 17. Sparta's at 20 degrees. Viroqua at 28. Basketball at 25. And Winona, you're currently at 27 degrees. So as we take a look now at your planner, we'll be at 29 under mostly clear skies at 7. Now at noon, partly cloudy with temperatures at 40 degrees, turning mostly sunny at 4 with temperatures at 47. And then we drop a bit to 38 degrees under mostly clear skies by 8 o'clock. I don't think today is going to be as cold and chilly as yesterday, though. As you can see, our forecast highs today into the low to mid 40s, 47 today in La Crosse and 41 this afternoon in Eau Claire. You can see some increasing clouds on the satellite picture now beginning to spread their way across the area here this morning, but those clouds shouldn't last too much longer. I still am expecting by around 11 o'clock this morning that the clouds that we're seeing now will clear out of here, and then even furthermore as we head to 6 o'clock this evening, just a few leftover clouds by that point. Now we will increase the cloudiness though as we head into tonight, as you can see, spreading across the Coulee region yet again, with even a chance of showers underneath some of those thicker clouds heading into tomorrow morning. That could affect your morning commute for those of you in our northern zones, especially up towards the Eau Claire area and north. And then the cloud cover and some of those showers will clear out as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Just mixed sun and clouds there after that, followed by increasing clouds yet again as we head into tomorrow night. And the same could be said here as we head into early Saturday. But by Saturday afternoon, though, around 4 o'clock, we expect just a few passing clouds. Overall, not too bad there. Here's a check on that 8-day forecast, and you can see our highs will be into the 40s and 50s. Some slight chances of rain here as we head into this weekend, but I do think we'll see some much better chances of rain as we head into early next week on Monday. Some chances of rain could linger into Tuesday as well, with only slight chances for Wednesday and Thursday. Again, highs into the 40s and 50s. Our low temperatures will be mainly into the 30s.
All right, Derek, thank you. Well, this morning we have the president of the River City Youth Hockey Association, Matt Hansen, and the Mites, ages 4 through 8, head coach Lucas Schwaller, in studio to talk about their Try Hockey for Free event this weekend. So welcome and good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, thanks.
And just start out by telling us a little bit about the event, when and where it's taking place.
So River City is hosting a Try Hockey for Free event. It will be Saturday, November 4th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's at the Green Island Ice Arena on 7th Street. That's behind the Gunderson Health Campus, back in the corner back there. So.
Now, do attendees need to bring their own skates or any other equipment?
No. All the equipment will be provided. We have a skate rental shop there that they can find some skates that fit, and we'll have all the sticks and helmets and gear and everything for them waiting.
Should they sign up in advance, or can they just show up?
Yeah, it would be preferred to sign up in advance.
Okay.
There's a link on our website for Try Hockey Free, and then they can go and do the online form and get all the waivers and everything done that way.
Great.
So why would you encourage children to do hockey?
Yeah, I've been playing since I was a little kid, and both of my kids are in the program, and it's an incredibly fast-paced and exciting game, but also the rink serves as this safe and fun place where kids can get exercise all winter long and make these lasting friendships. So,
What about girls? Maybe they're hesitant or their parents are hesitant because it is such a high contact sport. What would you say to them, or why would you encourage them to get involved?
That's a great question, and it's a good one for us because we both have girls that play. My daughter started when she was 4 years old, and she's part of the 10U Girls program, and actually started through this Try Hockey Free event. And what I would say with regard to girls, this community has such an incredible girls hockey program and support, and we have many girls in our association that start. It's a wonderful game, and it's not just for boys.
So I know we talked about that, and also, you know, making long-lasting friendships as well in the sport, but what about life skills? What can they learn from that?
I would say resiliency is a big one, right? If you, one of the big things we teach the young kids is once you can learn to get back up again, like the game is yours, right? Like everything else is easy after that. So resiliency, teamwork, working within a system, and then of course fair play. Like this is a really tough game. There's competition involved, but kids learn fair play and they learn a sense of pride and giving their best effort.
Great. And so remind us again what ages this is for?
Really, it's for K through 5th grade, but we have children as young and equipment ready to go for children as young as 4 years old. And then, of course, we'll have older kids on the ice that are helping along with all of us coaches.
And where can people get more information on this? Do you guys have a website? Or?
We do, lacrossehockey.com. Okay. That's River City's website, and I would go there and check out and follow the links for registration.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add about the event or the program or youth hockey in general?
I would just say that, you know, give it a try. You know, I think that's the main thing for these kids. You get the helmet on for the first time and you get the pads, and it's just a feeling that they've never had. And there's a, you know, a sensation in a speed on ice that's addicting. And I hope we can get lots of kids and boys and girls there to give it a try.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds like a great event. And thank you so much for being here to tell us about it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right. And stay with us. We will be right back. A former Toma teacher will spend 10 years behind bars for repeatedly forcing a 14-year-old student to engage in sexual acts with her. That sentencing was handed down last week after she was convicted of 25 counts of sexual assault back in July. Upon her release, Ann Nelson Koch will be supervised by the Department of Corrections for an additional 15 years. Monroe County officials are encouraging anyone else who may have been victimized by the former teacher to contact the Toma Police Department. The town of Campbell is suing manufacturers of the so-called forever chemicals known as PFAS. Online court records show the town filed a civil suit in La Crosse County Court in October. More than a dozen companies are named as defendants, including 3M and DuPont. News 8 Now has reached out to the town's legal representation for a copy of the filed complaint. What we can tell at this point is the lawsuit will argue the PFAS contained in residents' private wells have damaged their property values. Town residents have been on bottled water for 2 years now after news of the widespread contamination. Chronic wasting disease, an infectious disease spread through saliva, has been detected in a deer in Trempealeau County. That's according to the DNR. It's fatal for deer, moose, and elk. The infected deer was harvested in the town of Hale. This detection is prompting renewed bans on baiting and feeding in Trempealeau and Jackson counties. Madison Democrats are introducing bills they say will remove barriers to abortion. The state's 1849 ban outlaws most abortions right now, but a Dane County judge could strike that down. The Democrats' bills would remove requirements for abortion providers to have hospital admitting privileges and perform physical exams on those seeking abortions. They would also require healthcare providers to give medically accurate information to patients and not provide misinformation.
We know that patients' rights, we want to center patient safety. And in order to do that, these three bills will help ensure not only patient safety, but patients' rights.
The bills would have to pass scrutiny in the Republican-controlled chambers before they could advance. Radon is a colorless, odorless, naturally occurring gas, and according to the La Crosse County Health Department, it's the second leading cause of lung cancer in the U.S. In honor of Lung Cancer Awareness Month, the La Crosse County Health Department is offering free short-term radon test kits. Since radon is undetectable to humans, testing is the only way to determine if it's in your home. Radon can enter homes through cracks and gaps in the foundation, and elevated levels of radon are found in about 1 out of every 10 Wisconsin homes.
We just, again, really want people to know that they either do or don't have a radon problem right now, and if there's any way that they can fix that.
The department has 300 short-term radon tests to give out. They'll be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. You can pick them up at the Health and Human Services building in La Crosse or any of the 5 county libraries. The county health department is also encouraging people to donate a non-perishable food item when you come pick your kid up. Those donations will go to the Hunger Task Force. The Family and Children's Center hosted its biggest fundraising and awareness event of the year at the Weber Center for the Performing Arts. The free event was called Bridges to Better Tomorrows. It highlighted programs the FCC offers in 5 communities, including 25 prevention, intervention, and treatment programs. The night also featured testimonials and big opportunities to raise money for the nonprofit. Their child advocacy centers took a big hit after recent funding cuts by the federal government. Any money raised from the event will go towards bridging that gap so the FCC can provide the resources so many families need.
We have services and programs for 5,500 people a year, children, families, adults, and these services are critical to help some of the toughest challenges that people face.
One of the biggest grants the FCC received was a challenge grant for $480,000. That was shared by 18 donors. A La Crosse food bank has kicked off its virtual food drive. The Hunger Task Force is holding its first virtual food drive. Interested donors can log on to the Hunger Task Force website and shop for items to purchase for the food bank. We have that link for you on our website. The drive runs through the end of the year, but donations made now between November 28th will be matched up to $25,000 by another donor.
And as you head out the door this morning, bundle up. Another cold start with temperatures into the 20s. We will be looking at increasing clouds here just a little bit before they decrease here as we head into this afternoon, with temperatures into the mid-40s heading into this afternoon under a mix of clouds and sunshine, light winds as well. 8-day forecast showing that we will be looking at highs into the 50s tomorrow and through this weekend. Only slight chances of rain here Saturday and Sunday. Much better chances of rain, though, heading into early next week on Monday.
I'm happy to hear and see that we'll get a little bit of sunshine today, right?
Yeah, we'll see a little bit of sunshine today. Unlike yesterday, it was completely overcast.
Yes.
And that is one of the reasons that contributed to a pretty cold day yesterday.
Yeah.
And also our winds today won't be as strong.
Good.
And more sunshine, so slightly warmer.
Some good news there for sure. Good to see a little bit of sun before the rain hits next week.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We will see you back here at noon, 5, 6, and 10. Have a great day.